And Sean Diddy Combs' kids are speaking out for the first time since the music mogul was taken into custody. 4 of his 7 children released a statement on Instagram saying they want to clear up false rumors about their mother.
Y'all, when I saw the headline, I had to double check. They're saying Christian Combs, Diddy's own son, might be a turning witness. Now, here's what we know so far. Christian Combs has been named in at least one of the civil lawsuits connected to Diddy, and that alone already raised eyebrows. The whispers say he's been quietly cooperating behind the scenes, and get this, one lawsuit in particular claimed that Christian was right there when some of the wild stuff allegedly went down. His presence in the house, his access to the same circles, and the fact that he was part of that luxury lifestyle Diddy was always flashing around, it all matters now. Prosecutors are looking at who knew what, who saw what, and who can confirm details, and Christian might have more answers than people thought. Some legal experts are even saying that Christian may have already provided information to avoid getting dragged further into the mess. See, once you're named, that's enough for the feds to lean on you for statements. And let's be real, if you're facing pressure and they give you a way out by talking, a lot of folks take it. But what makes this situation messier is that this is his father. If Christian is talking, that's huge. That's family business hitting the courtroom, and Diddy's whole brand is built on loyalty. If that's cracking from the inside, the walls are shaking way harder than anybody expected. So, what pushed Christian to the edge? What even made him sit with prosecutors behind his dad's back? Let's discuss.
In this audio that CNN has listened to, you can specifically hear the accuser who alleges that she was being forced to take this tequila shot that she believed was laced with drugs. And in the audio, you can hear her asking Christian Combs if she was being drugged, and he answers, "Take the shot."
According to multiple sources close to the case, Christian Combs is named directly in a sealed court memo tied to the federal investigation into Diddy. Now, here's what makes it even messier. Reports are saying that Christian might have been offered some kind of immunity deal. That means in exchange for his cooperation, he could be protected from prosecution himself. Think about that. The feds don't hand out immunity for no reason. They want value. They want names. They want receipts. And apparently Christian delivered. His reported testimony is not just surface level talk. Insiders say he provided details on private jet flight logs, cash transfers, and even guest lists for exclusive parties. That's the kind of stuff that ties timelines together. It confirms who was where and when. This is the kind of evidence that takes a situation and turns it into a documented operation. People in Diddy's circle are saying Christian had access to the back end. He wasn't just a guest at the parties, he knew who was flying in, how they got paid, and who was bankrolling the events. Some reports even claim Christian approved certain flight arrangements himself, which would put him in the middle of the logistics. This ain't just gossip. This is a son stepping into a courtroom with real knowledge of how things worked, and prosecutors are using every bit of it. Now listen, we all saw the photos. Celebrities, yachts, all-white parties, but what if those parties weren't just for fun?
Fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is a legendary white party. It's the real white party. Make some noise if you've been here before. Okay. And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. Hey, DJ.
Let's talk about the real heat. The feds are now digging into specific events thrown by Diddy, particularly those hosted in the Hamptons and Miami between 2015 and 2022. On the outside, these were luxury get-togethers, but federal documents suggest something way more serious. Investigators are calling these events doors for something else. According to leaked notes from the investigation, flights to these parties were paid for by shell companies that exist only on paper with no real business operations. That's a classic money laundering setup. Prosecutors are now connecting those shell companies to possible illegal funding streams, and some of that money moved fast, in and out of accounts with barely any oversight. Christian's name allegedly pops up again right here. See, he was tied to some of those flight arrangements either through email chains, personal approvals, or credit authorizations. They're not saying he booked illegal flights, but if his name is attached to the travel logistics and those flights were part of something, that drags him further in. Prosecutors believe that behind the glam was a machine that moved people, money, and favors around like pieces on a board. And with Christian helping to confirm the how, when, and who, that's big. Now here's where it gets wild. Some insiders are saying Diddy straight up snapped when he found out his son might testify. Sources close to Diddy say he rejected a plea deal that would have capped his prison time at 12 years because he thought he had control of the situation. But once whispers started flying about Christian possibly cooperating, things shifted fast behind the scene. People inside Diddy's legal circle are saying he felt completely blindsided. Christian was always seen as the golden child, so hearing that he might be sitting with prosecutors, that allegedly set Diddy off. Some say he had a full-blown breakdown in lockup after finding out. He didn't just feel betrayed, he felt exposed. The one person he probably thought would stay silent no matter what had just flipped the script. Acting like Diddy's team has already come out swinging too. His lawyers are accusing prosecutors of weaponizing family ties. They're arguing that dragging Christian into this is about emotional leverage, not justice. But let's be real. If Christian volunteered information, the feds didn't have to twist anything. That's a whole different ballgame. And when your own son is cooperating, it tells the world that the protection around you is cracking from the inside.
New audio has surfaced as part of a lawsuit that accuses Christian Combmes, Sean Diddy Combs' son, of
Christian Combs isn't just some background figure in this story. He's been living the life, attending the events, posting the photos. So when the feds started circling around Diddy, Christian wasn't just watching from the sidelines, he was already on the radar. According to legal insiders, Christian has already met with federal agents not once, but twice. That detail alone speaks volumes. Nobody sits with prosecutors more than once unless they've got something to say or something to protect. And here's the key, Christian hasn't been officially charged with anything. Industry sources say Christian might have been trying to legally distance himself before things got worse. With the raids on Diddy's properties happening fast and loud, Christian's name started getting pulled into search warrants and flight records. Even if he wasn't directly involved in anything illegal, his connections to the flights, guests, rentals put him in a risky spot. People close to the situation believe Christian got caught in the crossfire. When authorities hit Diddy's homes, they weren't just looking for Diddy's devices. They took anything connected to the operations. That included emails, texts, and shared files, some reportedly involving Christian. Once the feds had access to those conversations, they likely saw just how close Christian was to the business side of Diddy's lifestyle. Now, Christian's facing a classic dilemma. Stand by your father and risk getting pulled into a legal mess, or cooperate early and protect your own future. It's not just about loyalty, it's about survival. Because when federal prosecutors get involved, they don't play favorites. And Christian, whether he meant to or not, was in the middle of it.
Now, just to put things into perspective, the accuser was a crew member on the yacht. She was a bartender, and she says that shortly after this incident with the shot, she says she was cornered in a room. She says things